Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and welcome to a special live edition of the State of the Saints podcast on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. Got a good show lined up for you all. As you all can see, you can see the topic of this episode's topic is who will be the Saints starting center, and also is CJ Gardner Johnson the answer at the nickel corner spot. But first off, I want to give a special shout out to everybody that followed the live on yesterday, those that chimed in. I had such a great time, man. I went back and watched that episode, and I must say, man, that was one of the most exciting episodes that I've done. So thank you all for that, man. Special shout out to everybody that was a part of that live. But man, we got some topics that need to be discussed. Man, I just seen something that was very disturbing to me about the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show. I wasn't going to. These were going to be my two topics, I should say. These were the two topics that I was going to discuss. But you know how I go, man. Things happen, and yeah, they end up talking about it. So I'm going to let you all know about that a little bit later on. But we are going to be talking about C.J. Gardner Johnson, and we're going to be talking about who will be the starting center for the New Orleans Saints. Special shout out to Casual Dex, Jared Poor, Dalton was going on. We got Charles Winston up in there, no relation to Jameis Winston. DLP 2600, Dalton Smith. Man, what's going on to each and every one of you? And of course, Stunner was happening. Man, I wanted to talk about C.J. Gardner Johnson. I definitely wanted to talk about the offensive line because I don't feel like the offensive line gets that much attention here on the State of the Saints podcast, and I feel like they're worth talking about, especially since the New Orleans Saints decided to take a first round pick and invest in the offensive line. So we're going to be talking about that first. As you all know, Eric McCoy, he's going to the second season out of Texas A&M for the New Orleans Saints. And I have to say he did an outstanding job, man. I mean, filling in for a guy that was a steady at his position, and Max Unger, a guy who was one of the best centers in football. We all know how he became a member of the New Orleans Saints. He came in a trade when Jimmy Graham went to Seattle, and the Saints got Max Unger in his place. So Max Unger has done an outstanding job, man. When he was playing for the Saints, only one penalty on him his entire time with the New Orleans Saints, and that was in the divisional round of the playoffs. And you can even make an argument that play was just completely bogus. But now you had Eric McCoy. I mean, he had some big shoes to fill, and he came in and he did an outstanding job, man. I mean, you cannot knock Eric McCoy. I think that he got better each and every game. I feel like he was more focused, more dedicated, and he got a little bit more confidence as the season started to progress. But now we see that the Saints decided to take a first round pick and go get Cesar Ruiz. So Cesar Ruiz, he's a rookie out of Michigan, and he's a guy that has done a very great job for the University of Michigan. Not one of those guys that is just a repeat offender when it comes to the holding calls. He barely even got holding calls. He only had two penalties, and it was for illegal man downfield. He's extremely athletic, and of course, the center position is his primary position. So the question is, what are the Saints going to do? I mean, you got two guys that can play the center position. So what are the Saints are going to be focused on? Me personally, I feel like the Saints are going to allow Cesar Ruiz to be the starting center. I think they looked at Eric McCoy and how he filled in and how he really didn't need that much help. I think the Saints are looking at Cesar Ruiz to be their center. Now, they are doing a politically correct thing, in the press conferences and stuff like that, saying that they're going to wait to training camp. Whatever. We all know that's not true. They're going to try to get Cesar Ruiz acclimated to the offensive line and offensive game plan, and they're going to try to put him at the center position, and they're going to try to get Aaron McCoy at the guard position that was once held by Larry Warford. The Saints have a really good offensive line, and I feel like with these two young guys, I feel like the Saints are repairing and rebuilding the offensive line. And I've said this on previous shows that I feel like they're doing this because they realize that Drew Brees is about to wrap up his career, and you're going to need a young quarterback, to replace him. And the best friend of a young quarterback is the running game. And these guys are maulers. If you look at Cesar Ruiz, at the University of Michigan, they were a run dominant team. They weren't throwing the ball all over the place. They were running the football, and Cesar Ruiz was one of the main reasons why they were so successful at doing so. And then you have Eric McCoy, who went to Texas A&M, and he was a really good center, but he also kind of rotated and became, was a guard as well. So I feel like he's going to fit that position just like a glove. And then you have Ryan Ramczyk, and you also have Andrews Pete and Teron Armstead as a part of your offensive line. So I think the Saints can have one of the best offensive lines in football. And I'm really excited about this, man, because there's a lot of young guys on this offensive line. You look at Cesar Ruiz, I think he's around 21. Eric McCoy, he's about 22 or 23 years old. Ryan Ramczyk, 24. You have Teron Armstead, 28. And Andrews Pete is 26. So, I mean, this is a really young offensive line that can be intact for a very, very long time. So, very excited about that. But let me go ahead and open the floor and see what you all have to say. Charles Winston says C.J. Gardner Johnson is a up and coming, all around player. Hope we can keep him for a long time. Yeah, I agree. Ruiz will be starting center, and Gardner Johnson will be the slot man. He can do it all, and he is hungry. Yeah, I seen him practicing and stuff like that on Instagram. Man, he's out there, man, working out and really putting his best foot forward. I think I seen him working out with Traquan Smith maybe like a couple weeks ago, and then of course he has his own personal trainer. I mean, he's working on his hand technique. The last video that I seen, so I'm really confident that C.J. Gardner Johnson is going to really step it up this year. I think he's going to make a huge leap. Uh, Holla at all my peeps, man. What's going on, man? That's DLP 2600. I'm glad you're checking out on CJ Garner Johnson, man. Of course, man. I've been trying to do shows that focus on guys that I really haven't been talking about. I mean, we know about the Alvin Kamara contracts, and we know about Drew Brees and his comments, but man, we need to focus on some of these guys that are going to be the future of the New Orleans Saints. And I think that it's very important for us to understand that, man, these guys are going to be the guys that are going to, get the Saints where they need to be, years down the line. No disrespect to Drew Brees, but I mean, Drew Brees has like maybe 2, 3 years tops left in him. And, I mean, these guys are going to be the future of the New Orleans Saints. These are going to be the guys that when we have future State of the Saints podcast episodes, these are the guys that we're going to be talking about. So I feel like we need to give them the respect and also, break them down and, really answer the questions. Do we feel like they're going to be a part of the team going forward and being, leaders in the future? But that's a good point. Eric McCoy did a great job last year. Yeah, Dalton, he did outstanding job last year. I don't think people really understand like the center position and how important it is to the offensive line. Now, I will say that he has a glorified cheat sheet and Drew Brees. I mean, usually like a center, like if you have a rookie quarterback, he's probably going to be that quarterback's best friend because the quarterback is going to be listening to that center point out the different, coverages and stuff like that and where the pressure is coming. That is a huge and very important position to have, a center position. But like I said, Drew Brees was a glorified offensive coordinator out there on the field. So I think that kind of helped Eric McCoy out a lot. And I really think he did a good job, man. So shouts out to him. I believe Johnson will be a Pro Bowl D back. Yeah, I mean, I think he will. I turned 18 Friday. Hype is real. Caleb, man, I can only imagine, man. Turning 18, that's a great age to turn, man. I can think about what's really going on when you turn 18. You get the right to vote. That's very important, man. Y'all make sure y'all go out and vote. Also going to college if that's your thing. If you want to go to the military, I mean, so many things, man. You know what I'm saying, like that you can do at the age of 18. I'm trying to remember what did I do on my 18th birthday. Man, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I probably was getting ready for college, if I'm not mistaken. I was about to start my first year at Dillard University, man. But happy belated birthday to you. I mean, early birthday to you, man. Turn up, you know what I'm saying, to the fullest. Well, hopefully we'll have a show and you'll join us, man, getting closer to your birthday. You know what I'm saying, so we can really truly wish you a happy birthday. I thought after draft they said they're moving McCoy to guard. Dalton, I mean, that's what they said, and that's what I feel like they're going to do. But once again, they try to be politically correct. They're like, oh man, we're going to make sure we go to camp and put the right guy in. Not happening, man. They're going to try to get Cesar Ruiz acclimated to that position, and they're going to acclimate Eric McCoy to the guard position. That's what's going to happen. So all this is basically their tongue in cheek and lip service right now. But I just felt like it need to be talked about. I knew CJ Gardner Johnson would be good. He was prospected to be a first round draft pick, but fell into the hands in the fourth round. I don't know what was going on with that. I mean, I didn't think he was one of those kids that got in trouble. I mean, he was a really good, steady player at the University of Florida. And not to mention, he had a little bit of a ball hawk in him, and he can return interceptions for touchdowns. He had good field visions. I don't know. I don't know. He probably. I mean, I'm glad he kind of slid under the radar because he fell into the lap of the New Orleans Saints. So I'm excited about that. Uh, Let me see. Dietrich Nichols also is a guy that the coaching staff said is a bulldog and playmaker, and so let's watch out for him. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking out for all these different guys, man. Dietrich Nichols, I think that the guy from the XFL. I mean, I think he led the XFL in interceptions or something like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to bring to the table. Man, this is going to be a competition. I'm looking forward. I want to see these guys really compete, and I also want to see like if the Saints are going to try to move PJ Williams to the safety position. Well, I feel like he would probably be most comfortable, man. I think he'll do a much better job because one thing you can say about PJ Williams is he can tackle. Now, he has no recovery speed, and he's sorry on the outside. But when the Saints moves him to the safety position when Marcus Williams went down and Von Bell was hurt, he did a good job. So I'm wondering if the Saints are going to go in that direction with him, have him like playing mostly safety packages. Yeah, I'm trying to be a civil engineer, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, man. Like you can do anything you put your mind to. I know that's a cliche. A lot of people, say that, but it's true, man. If you dedicated to what you want to do and you make up in your mind and you claim it, I guarantee you can make it happen, man. So good luck to you. Make sure that you whatever you try to pursue, you do it with everything that you have, man. Give 110%. Dalton said, "Don't sleep on both cornerbacks, Tino Ellis and Keith Washington." Nah, I'm not. I'm definitely not sleeping on those guys, man. I feel like when it comes to like the nickel corner position, like the competition is wide open. It's no guarantee that PJ Williams, neither is Patrick Robinson, going to be the starters. Patrick Robinson, as good as he was for the Philadelphia Eagles, he must have left his talent and his ability to stay healthy there. I mean, he must have left his health in Philadelphia and his coverage skills there too. Because all I seen was a guy that's getting hurt and stealing money. And as far as PJ Williams is concerned, man, we already know about him. You know what I'm saying? Get beat like a Persian rug. You know what I'm saying? Smoked like brisket, burnt like a biscuit, probably multiple times. And then he'll play like one game where we like, man, PJ balling, but it still don't negate the fact that he been stinking it up. And, you know what I'm saying? Wide receivers been leaving tire tracks on that boy. So, man, the fact is, like, I feel like it's wide open when it comes to the nickel position. And I feel like the Saints are going to do what's best because they need some physical guys. They need some tough guys. They need some tacklers. And they need some guys with some swag and some confidence, man, because what I'm seeing from the slot, man, I don't like. I mean, I think we answered the question when it comes to the outside. If Jack Rabbit Jenkins and Lattimore can stay healthy, but man, I mean, them slot receivers gonna be eating. You know what I'm saying? If these guys can't step up. Uh, let's see. TJ was at Super Sunday for his birthday. Turkey necks and big shots everywhere. Oh man, I don't know about that. I don't, man, honestly, man, I couldn't tell you what I did for my 18th birthday. I'm trying to see. Like I said, man, I was about to go to Dillard University at the time, man. I think I was maybe, I don't know, preparing for that because freshman, I guess like freshman orientation was like a couple of days after, my birthday. So I think that's what I'm doing. But I can tell you what I'm be doing this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to Miami. So I'm going to Miami for my birthday this year, man. And shouts out to my best friend Chris Smitty. You know what I'm saying? Like me and him have the same exact birthday. We were born the same month, the same day, same year. And every year, like we go out of town around our birthday, man. So I'll be in Miami, Florida, pending like this COVID-19 situation calm down. So I will be in Miami. I'll tell you that for my 34th birthday. Let's see. Johnson was great, versatile, with slot and at safety. A much better version of PJ. He got me excited for sure. Yeah, I don't even want to put this guy in the same sentence with PJ Williams, man. PJ Williams is an embarrassment at the corner position. I mean, y'all already know how I feel about PJ Williams. If you've been following the State of the Saints podcast over the last couple of years, you already know, man. Not a fan of PJ Williams. Not a fan of him at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I'm gonna cheer for him and root for him because he played for the Saints, but he's just one of those players. I'm like, man, why do you keep bringing this dude back? Like, what do y'all see in this dude? You ever like you ever had a homeboy or a homegirl, you know what I'm saying, date somebody and you know they're not good for him, and you like, man, why they don't see that this person ain't good for him? That's how I feel about PJ Williams. Like, you know what I'm saying, like one good play, one interception, one tackle not don't negate the fact that he's not really that good to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they kind of like PJ Williams. You know, I understand he was NFC player of the week. Well, I don't think it was last year. I think it was year before last. And, anytime like he gets smoked one week, he answers back the next week. I got to respect the fact that he tries hard, but he just ain't it, man. I mean, I don't know how many times you got to see, something for you to realize that ain't it. I don't get it. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, does he know where the bodies are buried? Like, does he have some incriminating photos of Sean Payton? Like, do he know the plug? You know what I'm saying, that Sean Payton allegedly has when he doing prescriptions? You know what I'm saying, that I heard that from Junior Gillette. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he do that. I heard that from Junior Gillette. Junior Gillette allegedly said that Sean Payton be messing with them pills. I don't know if PJ Williams know the plug, but at the end of the day, I just don't know why they just like this guy so much. I don't get it. I do not get it. PJ Williams, that's probably the funniest thing I heard you say. Yeah, PJ Williams. Definitely ain't it, man. Uh, Let me see. Went to church this past Sunday on my birthday, and after that, I came back home and chilled on my birthday. Man, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not really big on birthdays, man. I know I say I go out of town, but I'm not really big on birthdays. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care. Like, I feel like as long as I can see another year, that's a blessing to me. Anything else is just secondary. I mean, I got a beautiful fiance, you know what I'm saying, that I'm about to marry. I got a wonderful son, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, life good right now. I don't have too many things to complain about. I get opportunity to hang out with you all, almost every day. You know what I'm saying? I get to go to work and work at a radio station, something I wanted to do since I was a child. I don't really have much to complain about, man. It's just a blessing to, once you like reach a certain age, man, you don't really be caring about that stuff. Now, Caleb, man, he turned 18, man. It's time for the turn up. You know what I'm saying? Like when you that age, you know what I'm saying? It's time to turn up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like when you start to reach like 33, 34 years old, man, you just happy to have another birthday. Because I know a lot of soldiers that went on in. Shouts out to my boy Carl Barberan. You know what I'm saying? He passed away a couple years ago, man. Heart attack, man. I could not believe that. I mean, I know we talking about the Saints, man. I'm just thinking about, man, Carl Barberan. I think he was a He was a band teacher, man. I don't know if it was at McDonald 35 or not. I can't remember what school. I think it was McDonald 35. But Carl Barberan, man, great trumpet player. We went to Carver High School together. And I'll never forget, man, I was talking to him, and we were talking about the Saints. And, we were talking about the Saints. I think the Saints ended up losing a game or something like that, and we both were upset. And, the next morning, somebody said, rest in peace, Carl. I'm like, man, God. I'm like, what, man? I just finished talking to this dude. You know what I'm saying? And it turns out, like, he passed away in his sleep. You know what I'm saying? We talked, like, we was, like, going back and forth on social media around midnight. And they say he passed away in his sleep around 2, 3 o'clock that morning. So I'm like, man, God, dog. So, man, but it made me just realize, man, he passed away at the age of 32. And we both were 32 at the time. And I'm like, man, you want to live life to the fullest, man. No matter how, young you may be, you know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. I mean, he didn't know that he had, like, cardiovascular issues, you know what I'm saying, with his heart or anything like that. So that's unfortunate. And rest in peace to him, man. Shouts out to him, his family. If anybody that knows Carl Barberan, man, great guy. The world lost a good one with him. I saw Emmanuel Sanders cooking someone on social media. Yeah, I seen that, man. I seen that. As somebody said, he was cooking somebody like crawfish at a block party. I don't know who said that. I think that might have been Kiriad or Keen Arthur, one of them. What's up, TJ Jones, the host? Yes, sir. What's going on, Joe? How you doing, man? TJ used to live down in Miami. It's a very fun place, so have fun. Yeah, man, this will be my third time going DLP. I went a couple years ago. I didn't go last year because of the birth of my son, and there was no way in the world I was gonna leave my girl. At the time, my son was just turning 2 months. But me and my friends, like, we always have a guy trip, man. These were guys I went to college with. So, you know how it is, man. You get out of college or you start living life, you get family and stuff like that. So you always just want to keep your friends around and stuff like that. So that's just the one thing that we do collectively to just, do something, as the fellas. You get what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that. I like Miami. They're just a little bit too rich for my blood. I don't think I can live there. Vacation is one thing. I don't think I can live in Miami, man. Way too much money, man. I ain't got a bankroll like that. uh, Dalton says Chauncey Gardner Johnson is a good player, but if Marcus Williams struggle, will Chauncey Gardner Johnson take Marcus Williams' spot? Man, I don't think so. I think Marcus Williams' spot is secure, and I also believe Dalton that, man, people don't give Marcus Williams enough credit. I understand the Minneapolis Miracle. I understand George Kittle, but man, he is a really good safety. He is a really good safety, and I just think if it wasn't for the Minneapolis Miracle, I think that people would look at Marcus Williams completely different. And it's unfortunate that he had to deal with that at the beginning of his career before he can put in a complete body of work, because anytime he makes a mistake now or anytime he misses a tackle, everybody is going to go back and remember that moment in Minnesota, and he's going to continue to be, man, the only way that can be expunged from Marcus Williams' career would be he have to do something that Tracy Porter did. He would have to do a pick six, like in a Super Bowl. He would have to return a touchdown to put the Saints in the Super Bowl. That's the only way people are going to really, truly forgive Marcus Williams for that play. But I like Marcus Williams. I don't think he's as bad as people make him out to be. I just think people just got that Minneapolis Miracle in their mind, and they just connected that to him. So anything that he does that's not, I guess, considered a good play, people are going to say he's not good. But I beg to differ. He's a good football player. That's just my opinion. I don't think he has anything to worry about when it comes to his position. What do you think about DJ Swearengen? Casual Dex, that's a good question. What do I think about DJ Swearengen? I think that DJ Swearengen is a really good safety. However, I think that he gets hurt way too much. Okay, I think that he's a ball hawk. I think he's a physical corner. He reminds me a lot of I won't say he really reminds me of, but he kind of reminds me of Bob Sanders for the Indianapolis Colts. Bob Sanders, when he was on the field, he made plays. He flew around the field. He caught interceptions. And I think a lot of people would probably be putting Bob Sanders up in the same conversation as Troy Polamalu, but he was always hurt for the Colts. And that's the same thing with DJ Swearengen. He has all the physical tools to be one of the most elite safeties in the NFL, but he just cannot stay healthy. And he fell into the laps of the New Orleans Saints, and he's only 28 years old. I think like if he can stay healthy, man, he would really help the Saints out tremendously. But you got to stay healthy. That's the only exception. But he has really great talent, and I guarantee you, if he could get his injury woes in check, the Saints wouldn't have been able to sniff him, and he'll be one of the highest paid safeties in football. But you got to be on the field. Bruh, 32 and 35 had some terrible uniforms. Yeah, man, 35 looked like they was in prison. McDonald 35 had that khaki brown on khaki brown. Oh my goodness. And the girls had like this burgundy plaid. Man, ugly, ugly. But I mean, shouts out to Carver High School. We couldn't do no better. Only difference is we had white shirts and khaki pants, and our colors were orange and green, like it was Halloween every day. So I can't really talk about McDonald 35. McDonald 35, shouts out to him, man. Like I was actually going to attend McDonald 35, but um, I ended up like deciding to, like, my freshman year, I got accepted into Warren Eastern. I got accepted to Warren Eastern. I had the paperwork. This okay. I got accepted, but I didn't get accepted. This is a very funny story right here. So I get a letter from Warren Eastern, and it says, "Congratulations, Timothy Jones, you've been accepted into Warren Eastern." So I'm all excited and stuff like that, man. Ready to go to Warren Eastern. I got my WE shirt. I got my great pants. I got them soft French bread soldiers on. For those y'all know what soldiers is, Reebok Classics. And my mom took me down to Warren Eastern. So get down there to Warren Eastern. They're like, "What's your name?" "Timothy Jones." "Okay, Timothy Jones." "Okay, Timothy Joseph Jones?" I like, "No, Timothy Jerome Jones." They got me mixed up with a Timothy Joseph Jones. So Timothy Joseph Jones got accepted to Warren Eastern, but Timothy Jerome Jones did not. Okay, so it was embarrassing, heartbreaking at the same time. It was like last minute, so I had to end up going to Frederick Douglass High School my freshman year. My older brother, Sam, who y'all probably heard, I did an interview with him, the one that was in the military. Got into a little fight or whatever like that with some guys, and the school threatened to expel him if he fights, but he was only trying to defend himself. So my mom said, "Forget that, pulling y'all out of here," and we ended up finishing our high school career at Carver Senior High School. So that's just a little background for me to you, let you all know where I came from. But that sucks, man. I wish I would have went to Warren Eastern. Let me see. Who do you think Mike T can get better at? I think I seen an article that he said you are going to tell he's going to be a lot better. Mike Thomas can always get a little bit better, man. I mean, just because you got 149 catches don't mean you can't work on your game, man. You can always get a little bit stronger. You can always work on hand techniques. You can always work on, like, getting position, you know what I'm saying, on those 50-50 balls. I mean, you can work on your route running. There's so many things, man. I mean, just because you're great and you're starting to move into that great realm, don't mean that you just got to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I mean, he's going into his fifth year, so man, you got plenty more football left in you. So if you don't watch out, you don't eat right, you don't work out right, man, you ain't gonna have a career for very long. You're gonna end up getting hurt. So I mean, hopefully he can continue to step it up. Once again, he hell when he well, but he's sick all the time. About Bob Sanders. Yeah, man. Bob Sanders was a beast. Just couldn't stay on the field. Is Alex Anzalone done with the Saints? No, he is not. And it's funny that you said that, Dalton. I seen article that said that according to sources, they feel like Alex Anzalone injury woes are behind him. I mean, look, take it with a grain of salt. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? Like if it got webbed feet, if it flies, you know what I'm saying? It's a duck. And Alex Anzalone's career, he has always been hurt. This dates back to the University of Florida, which would explain why he ended up falling into the lap of the Saints. He has first round talent, but fourth round durability. So he is a guy that I feel like the Saints count on to be on the field. But I'm not gonna say that he's gonna play a 16 game season because I never seen him play a 16 game season. So I don't know, but he's still with the team. I meant he can't stay healthy. I was asking is Azalone time is up? Nah, I don't think it's up. They still believe in him, and I still believe in him. Like Azalone is a good linebacker when he well. You know, like Jerry said, he hell when he well. But he need to stop being sick. Hey TJ, I'm from Algiers, more specifically the point. I gotta ask, man. During Katrina, did you hear explosions on the levee before the water filled Greater New Orleans? I did. King Arthur, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I wish I had like this story that I can tell you about Hurricane Katrina and I was there, but I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Me and my family, we left maybe like 3 years before Katrina. 3 years, 3 days before Katrina hit. Okay, like we were on a highway, we were like, you know what I'm saying, like wheels in motion. You know, I ain't got no story. I wasn't at the Superdome. I wasn't in the Ninth Ward. I wasn't on top of the house. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always look at it like it was a blessing. Like this is crazy. I tell y'all. I know I'm giving y'all a whole bunch of stories about myself, but here's another one. Maybe like 2 months before Hurricane Katrina hit, my grandfather bought a house in Vicksburg, Mississippi. And I remember like he was traveling from New Orleans to Vicksburg to work on his house. And I remember like he was putting a doorknob on. And I remember he was like in a kitchen. And I remember this kitchen very vividly. It was a checkerboard floor. And I remember him on his knees and he looked around. He said, I don't know why I bought this house. And he's like, I couldn't tell you. He's like, I don't know why I bought it. And I'm talking about months later. That's when Hurricane Katrina hit, and that's the house that we end up staying in when the storm was going on. So I'm like, man, that's just a story. Like, man, that goes to show you like about destiny. That goes to show you how God protects you. Like, cause he did not have the faintest idea why he ended up buying that house. But I don't have a story, King Arthur, about that. I mean, I didn't hear explosions. I mean, I heard about the people that said that they heard explosions in the lower ninth ward. I'm not gonna say those people are lying because I mean we know about in the past. I think in the 20s, if I'm not mistaken, when they blew the levees. You know what I'm saying, when they had a hurricane back in the day. So um, I mean, it wouldn't be far fetched that they blew those levees in order for them to preserve the downtown area. And I always find it weird that the downtown area is like right down the street from the Mississippi River, but the water inside of the French Quarter and stuff like that was only ankle deep. So I'll just leave that with y'all. The phone lines are open, man. Y'all can call if you want to. If you want to talk about any of these topics, you want to make a statement or anything like that, man, feel free. Feel free to call in. Phone lines wide open. All right, floor is yours. You can continue to comment in the chat, so you can call up the show. Saints should get rid of Kiko Alonso. I disagree with that, Dalton. I think that Kiko Alonso is a really good linebacker, but I mean, I understand he has a history of being injured, but he's a really damn good linebacker when he healthy. Like goodness, like this he is a beast. Man, if he can just stay healthy, 504, you on the state of the Saints. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's down with it, bro? This your boy King Arthur, you heard me?
Man, what's going on, King Arthur? How you doing, brother?
I'm cool and King, chilling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though.
Uh huh.
That boy CJ,
Mm hmm.
I think we should put him in the slot
Yeah.
most of the time and let PJ be his relief, but nowhere else. That boy PJ can't go nowhere else. Don't let that boy go by the Gatorade thing. Don't let that boy go nowhere. He can't touch the first down marker, a flag, nothing. Leave him right there.
And I feel you, man. I completely feel you, kid. I don't know, man. I think they can save PJ's career if they put him at safety. Like the safety position, like is reserved for people that can tackle really well and not that fast. So I think that he would. I think he could thrive at the safety. I just don't understand. Like, what do they see in this guy to continuously sign him year after year? Like, I just can't explain it. I just can't. I couldn't tell you why they do it. But
like you said, bro, that boy know what a body's at. You heard me?
he got to, man. Like PJ Williams must got some incriminating stuff on the Saints. Like he got to know something. Like it might be any time the contract is up, he must have like sent Sean Payton a text or something like that, and him in a precarious position. I don't know. I don't understand like what they see in this guy. I don't.
Hey, one more question, bro. Do you think Sean Payton gonna get out of his own way? He done held us back from like 2 championships with his arrogance, bro.
Well, I wish I could answer that question for you. I'm gonna say I hope. Like I said, we've been talking about the offensive line, and I feel like the way that the Saints are structuring the offensive line now it's a run dominant offensive line. Like you look at Ryan Ramchick, he came from Wisconsin. Every single year, Wisconsin has like one of the top running backs in college football. You got Cesar Ruiz came from Michigan. Michigan was a run dominant team. You got, you know what I'm saying, Eric McCoy. They had a good balance at Texas A&M. Andrews P came from Stanford where they ran the ball more than they passed it. And, you know, you got Teron Armstead. Shouts out to the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it seems like to me like they're trying to make their offensive line like a run first offensive line, and they better. Cause like I said, man, like when Drew Brees retires, the young quarterback is going to come in, and they're definitely going to have to rely on the running game in order for them to really start to win games until that quarterback starts to develop and really gets you know what I'm saying, gets an idea about the offense.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say this last thing, and I'm gonna let you go, big dog. Teron Armstead. I was looking at some advanced metrics and stats, bro. That boy on 579 pass blocking snaps. Yeah. He gave up 1 sack.
Yeah, man, he a beast.
Just 1. But that boy Cesar Ruiz.
Caesar.
Bro, his stuff from college, bro. It was like 700 or something snaps. That boy didn't give up no sacks. None. And no holding.
No holding. Two offensive penalties, and it was illegal man downfield. That's incredible. Like, I mean, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so simple for offensive line to like go downfield and not realize where he at. Man, he is really good.
On the read option, huh? I mean, not a read option, RPO.
Yep. Run pass option. Like, yeah, that's what happened. And he even argued. He said one of those downfields. He said he could dispute. And you know, so they have a really good young offensive line, and that's exactly what you need if you're trying to transition your team. You know, there was a great debate. If I can just tell you this real quick, there was a great debate from John Madden and former owner Al Davis of the Raiders, and it was like, what do you start a team with? And John Madden was like, you start, you know, the team with an offensive line, and Al Davis was like, no, you started with a good secondary. So a lot of people feel like, you know, John Madden saying, you know, it start with a good offensive line, that's the right thing to do. So if you're trying to make a transition, you're trying to become, after Drew Brees, post Drew Brees, the New Orleans Saints, they're doing the right thing when it comes to fixing their offensive line, man.
Man, like I said, bro, I hope that it's a sign of things to come in terms of them running the ball more.
Me too, man.
Loaded O-line, bro.
Yeah, man.
And I'm gonna say they got the best O-line in the league.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that as much as they want to try to throw the Cowboys and the Eagles in our faces. I feel like the Saints have the best offensive line in football. That's just my honest opinion.
I know they mention the Colts a lot in terms of best O lines, but I think we got the most vicious O line in the league. I don't care what nobody says. Them boys be slamming dudes.
Right. Definitely, man. And they just have to get a little bit aggressive, man, and they just gotta run the ball just a tad bit more, man. But King Arthur, man, thank you so much for the phone call, brother. Call back anytime, man.
You know it, homie.
All right, all right, you too. That is King Arthur, man. Shouts out to him, man. Thank you for calling in. Wine. He's asking about the phone number. The number is on the screen, man. It's on the screen with me. That's the number you can call in. Feel free to call in. And tell me what you feel about the team. I'm ready to see Zach Bond play. Yeah, me too, man. I'm hearing a lot of great things from about that young man. Kiko Alonso scares me. I'm worried he goes down again. What if he tears his ACL again? Well, you got Zach Bond now. Not an issue. 507, you on the State of the Saints.
Hey, it's Juan.
Hey, Juan, how you doing, brother?
Good, doing good. We're just watching the live stream here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. I have some questions for you.
Yeah.
How bad, take me back to the draft, how bad did you want us to get Jordan Love?
Oh, my goodness. Why? I think. Did you watch any of my live when the draft was going on?
Absolutely, because you had the same reaction.
Oh my goodness, man! I was so dejected. I was so dejected, man, when they didn't get Jordan Love because I didn't understand it, and I still don't understand. Like, look. Thinking about it in real time, I was upset. But when I had the opportunity to process what happened, I'm glad that they got Cesar Ruiz. But I'll be lying to you if I believe in my heart of hearts that Jordan Love should have been a New Orleans Saint, and I couldn't tell you why. I was disgusted. I was angry. Y'all got real emotion out of me. That was not an act. That was not a facade. I wasn't trying to channel my Stephen A. Smith. That was like real, genuine emotion that y'all got out of me, man. For real. But
that was probably
yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the most shocked I think I've seen you since I've been watching your live stream for a while.
Oh my goodness. That was
the same thing.
Oh my goodness. Man, I didn't know what to think. I was just like, man, I was just so angry about that. But I think he went to a good spot. You know what I'm saying? I think the Green Bay Packers is a good landing spot for him. I think that I'm just so tired of watching quarterbacks that the Saints should have gotten win MVP. We get screwed every year, man. Patrick Mahomes was right there. The Kansas City Chiefs jumped up and they got him. We could have got Lamar Jackson. But they decide to go with Marcus Davenport. The two guys that are league MVP, you know what I'm saying, from 2018, 2019 respectively, play for different teams. And I did not want to see the same thing happen with Jordan Love, man. Like,
No.
I don't know, man.
I get you. So, before I let you go here, why do you think that is? Is it our scouting that doesn't like the quarterback? Or do you think it's Sean Payton that just doesn't like these rookie quarterbacks?
I think it's both. I think that Sean Payton likes veteran quarterbacks. I don't really see him like really taking a timeout. I give you an example, right? Man, you remember Garrett Grayson? They got him in the third round out of Colorado State. This guy came in during preseason, made a few mistakes. Sean Payton was just like ready to pull his hair out or whatever like that and wash his hands with him. I don't feel like he really took the time out to try to develop Garrett Grayson. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he likes those veteran quarterbacks. You never really see him go out here and really try to get a young quarterback. It's always a guy that's been in the league for a while. There's a pro, a veteran's veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think he really too much care about it. I know it don't have anything to do with the scouting department. Because Jeff Ireland, in my opinion, like the Saints better hold on to this guy like the Federal Reserve because teams are gonna be calling about Jeff Ireland. Like Jeff Ireland is a scouting genius. Like all these different draft picks that the Saints have gotten over the last couple of years, we owe it a lot to Jeff Ireland, and I am scared to death that this may be his last season as a New Orleans Saints assistant general manager. They're gonna have like if he leaves, my goodness, that's all I gotta say. Like he is covering up for a lot of people's shortcomings in the Saints organization, a lot.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't leave. I really, really hope he doesn't leave.
Yeah, man, me too.
No, I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh, man, no problem, Wine. Call back anytime, man. I enjoyed it talking to you.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Who that?
Who that? Yeah, man, shouts out to Wine for the call. Man, I'm telling y'all, Jeff Ireland, my goodness. If Jeff Ireland lead the New Orleans Saints, y'all might see your boy shed a tear on the State of Saints podcast. Because he does such an incredible job. He does such an incredible job scouting these players. They have been batting 1,000. You know what I'm saying? They have been hitting them out the park. Late rounds, early round picks. And that's what you want, man. Like, when you get good draft picks and you get young players that can play and produce right away, like, that's what you need. Like man, you see this all the time with the Cleveland Browns. They go out here, they give these guys these big time contracts, and guys don't do nothing because they comfortable now. You know what I'm saying? Because they got their money. When you have a young team and these guys are playing on rookie contracts, you got a lot of hungry players. You got a lot of hungry players, and you got a lot of players out there trying to prove themselves. So Jeff Ireland does an outstanding job. The Saints need to keep this dude on ice. They need to protect this dude at all costs. And they need to get this dude whatever the hell he wants to keep him in town. Straight up. But I don't think we really talked about C.J. Gardner Johnson, man. I started to read the chat. So let's go ahead and talk about C.J. Gardner Johnson. Now, C.J. Gardner Johnson had an outstanding rookie season, in my opinion. I mean, he gave up that play on 4th and 2 to George Kittle. But besides that, that's really all you can say about him. He's a good tackler. He's a physical guy. He's not afraid to, really go out there and take it to a slot receiver. He played in a safety spot. I think he played better at the safety position than Von Bell. That's just me. And I feel like he's the reason why Von Bell became expendable, even though the Saints went and signed Malcolm Jenkins. I think that man is going to be a leader for the New Orleans Saints for a long time. I don't think he's afraid of the moment. I feel like he's prime time. And like I said, that whole San Francisco game when he gave up that play and when the media came and talked to him the next day, man, he just won my respect. Like, he won my respect the way that he responded to that media person. When he said, man, I'm young. He said, I'm going to make mistakes. But I tell you what, he said, I'm going to learn from it. And he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he basically was like, man, this ain't nothing to the Giant. So I like him a lot. And I think that the Saints like him a whole lot. And I think that he is going to be a leader for years to come, man. Like I said, I see a C on this dude's chest down the line. I like him a lot. He seems like he is, his own person. He don't really care about what anybody think about him. It seems like he's sure about himself, and he carries himself with a lot of confidence. So shouts out to him, man. Straight up, bona fide, certified beast. Straight up. I'm hearing Zach Bond is mauling mofos and drills. Yeah, man. They said he's doing an outstanding job, even though the team is not together. He's doing workouts, and, man, the coaching staff are ranting and raving about him. Mike Hodges, the linebackers coach, is raving about this man right now. C.J. Gardner Johnson is the answer, period. The kid is special. Yeah, man, he definitely is. Shouts out to I.B. Rippenham for the $5 donation. C.J. Fartner Johnson could be the answer. But he has to learn to fart on every tackle. Tight ends will fear going near him if he does. Shouts out to I.B. Rippenham, man, always with the fart humor. A guy that really loves flatulence. But I love you, I.B. Rippenham, man. Shouts out to him. Always good for a laugh, man. Bless you, brother. This comes from Raw Dog G Thomas. Is if we can get Justin Fields or Trey Lance, they're going to be better than Jordan Love. I mean, could be, but Jordan Love. I mean, we don't know yet, man. We don't know. We don't know the guy's skill set. We don't know how good he's going to be. You could be right, but Raw Dog, you could be wrong. And I'm just tired. Once again, Raw Dog, I'm just tired of watching teams get players that the Saints should have gotten, and these guys go out here and tear the league up. There's no excuse. Like, I can understand Patrick Mahomes, okay? Kansas City jumped up and got him, okay, right in front of the Saints, because they knew where the Saints were going with it. But Lamar Jackson, I will never forget where I was. I promise you. I was at Planet Fitness at the back where they have the ropes at. You know what I'm saying? Where you can, shake the ropes and stuff like that for exercise and cardio. Where they had they had the rotation weights and stuff like. I was back there and they had a TV. And the Saints were on the clock. When the Saints moved up, I was like, oh snap. They about to get Lamar Jackson. I stopped working out and I looked at the TV. It went on commercial. I was there, like I said, man, I was sweating like I was about to be drafted. When I seen them boys get Marcus Davenport, no disrespect to Marcus Davenport, man. I actually like Marcus Davenport. But when they didn't get Lamar Jackson, I was done. And sure enough, this guy wins MVP. Man, what could have been? What could have been? You think the Buccaneers winning the NFC South? No. No, I do not. No, I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are winning the South. No. I hope Von Bell does well in Cincinnati. But that's another NFL purgatory. Cleveland is one. Buffalo is another. TJ, name your top 3 purgatory teams for free agency. Oh, man. Number 1, Oakland, or now Las Vegas. Number 1 is the Raiders. Number 2, Cleveland. Number 3, I would have to say Detroit Lions. Okay? I'm not going to put Cincinnati in there because Cincinnati, like, contrary to popular belief, Cincinnati has been pretty good for the past few years. They just can't win a playoff game because Marvin Lewis couldn't win a playoff game, but they were always in the playoffs. So I'm not going to say that Cincinnati is a purgatory like Oakland / Las Vegas has been, or like Detroit is. Like, those are purgatories. I ain't gonna put Buffalo in there because Buffalo, this might be Buffalo's year, man. And I actually enjoyed watching Buffalo play. I enjoy, like, that Houston Texan Buffalo Bills playoff game was probably the best playoff game that they had. And I like Josh Allen, man. I like that kid. Like, maybe it's because he whooped up on the Dallas Cowboys, and that's always good. Maybe that's it, man. But I don't want to say Buffalo is a purgatory. I don't want to say that. Maybe it used to be, but I don't feel that way anymore. Timothy, who that more? I wasn't aware that we had 2 State of the Saints podcasts going at the same time. They do. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm hoping the Saints get Derek Stingley Jr. Not happening. No, sir. No. That guy gonna be a top 3. He gonna be a top 3. He already the best corner. He already the best corner in college, and he a freshman going into his sophomore year. Not happening. Not happening. Will not happen. Won't happen. I don't see that happening at all. He is not going to end up playing for the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints will have to have 504, you on the State of the Saints.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up? I just saw you on live. I see you talking about that old line, you know what I'm saying? That's a good thing.
Yeah, man.
You know,
yeah.
It's a good thing, bro. Because the O-line really is the most important position on the field. If you don't have no good O-line, the receivers, your quarterback, they can't do nothing.
Right.
Football is one in the trenches. So John Madden, he's
True.
right. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It started off with the line. If
the
line ain't straight, your team ain't, that's the engine.
Oh, that's it. That's it, man. You know, like I said, it was a great debate by John Madden and Al Davis. Like Al Davis, you know, he wanted those fast, quick cornerbacks, and he felt like he can build his team to a secondary. But John Madden felt like, you know, the offensive line is what you start with. And I agree.
Right.
I don't care how good your quarterback is, man. If he running for his life, you know, you ain't gonna do nothing. So
it goes both ways. The game with one in the trenches. Because if you don't got no D-line, your cornerback can't get no interception. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Because you need them to pressure the quarterback in order for him to get the ball out of his hand and also to disrupt his timing. So I agree with that.
Right. I feel, bro. I feel you on P.J. Williams. But look here, bro. I think he just out of
you going in and out, man. Hello? 504, man. 504, call back, man. We lost him. But I think he was talking about P.J. Williams, man, and being out of position. I would like to hear what he had to say on that. I would like to hear him elaborate on that. You know, so hopefully he'll call back. I thought you were going to say NY. I'm not a Bills fan like that in respect. Bills and Josh Allen. Look, man, I'm always going for Tre'Davious White. I'm always going to roll. I always roll with the underdog, man. There's nothing like a great underdog story, man. So I'm always going to root for those teams that have been down in the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Detroit, like, I like to see Detroit win a game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see these guys. 504, man. You're back, man. I think you was talking about P.J. Williams being out of position.
Yeah, he's just out of position, man. He don't really supposed to be on that island by himself, bro. P.J. Williams is a safety, bro. Bro, at safety, he will kill because he's a good tackler.
Yep.
He can play like zone coverage and stuff like that. That's what he's really good at, you know what I'm saying? So he really is out of position. That's what he played in Florida State. He played both of them, you know what I'm saying? He played outside and he played safety.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think by him putting him at safety, I think that's going to help his career out, really, because cornerback is not going to cut it to him.
Right.
He can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I think they can save his career if they do that. Like, I liked him, like I said, when Von Bell went down and when Marcus Williams missed a couple games with a groin injury. Like, he was playing like a little bit of nickel, but they had him mostly at the safety position, and he did a really good job. And like I said, man, I mean, bro, the way that he played and how he just gets smoked down the field when he on the outside, I'm like, this dude is a safety. And I mean, I don't understand it. Because you remember in 09, right? When Malcolm Jenkins first came to the Saints. They realized that Malcolm Jenkins wasn't really that good on the outside. Well, he was good, but he didn't have no speed. So what did they do? They made him a safety. So I'm like, why don't you do the same thing with PJ? Like P.J. Williams as a safety, he will resurrect his career. Like you will completely change your perspective about him. Period. So
he get killed on the front at the line. He gets destroyed. They even put a little 2-piece, and there you go, he trails.
Man, a one piece. You hit that ball with a one piece. Look, no jam, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just straight shoot up down the field on him. He getting smoked straight up. Like it's horrible, man. But I'm like, they not doing him any favors, and I don't understand why. So hopefully they can play him like kind of similar to what they were doing with C.J. Gardner Johnson. C.J. Gardner Johnson was playing a little bit of safety on some packages. You know what I'm saying? Like when they had like 3 safety sets. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing stuff like that, or when you have like what they call a six covers, you know what I'm saying, set, when you have, you have these safeties and you have those cornerbacks out there, why not just put them in a nickel? You know what I'm saying? He can jam a smaller wide receiver. So, I don't know. They got to do this guy some favors, man. They definitely got to do some cover 6s for his man.
And they dealing with cornerbacks, slot, none of that.
Yep.
He can't do said thing, he gotta go.
Yep. But I think they'll save his career, no doubt, man. Hey, man, what's your name, man? You ain't tell us your name.
Oh, I call myself the GM, you know what I'm saying? I call you every night, I be
yeah.
on the road, I watch all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like how you, I want to commend you for having an apology for Alvin Kamara, because some people can't do that, you know what I'm saying? Man. I was in your bashing him, but he deserved it, but we found out the real, you know what I'm saying? He was hurt.
Man, you would never.
Hurt like that.
Brother, you would never hear me, GM. You would never hear me like talk about somebody and not have the confidence or the ability to apologize when I'm wrong. Like straight up. Right. Like if I can sit up here and criticize a guy and you know what I'm saying, then I can be man enough to apologize when I'm wrong. And I said that I'm wrong and I don't have a problem with that. So I'm glad that we figured that out. Now we can move forward.
Right, that's just good work right there, man. Because you know, they be on the ESPN making all these lies about these dudes and do all this, but they'll never come back and just say, hey, man, I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? They
right.
do that. When I thought that, I was like, man, this dude's the truth. You know what I'm saying? You really doing his job. He's doing it right, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, man. Like, I understand they think about credibility and all that kind of stuff, and they feel like people ain't going to remember what they said. But I feel like you make yourself look even crazier if you were wrong about something and not willing to apologize or not willing to admit that you were wrong about it. So, man, I owe that not only to Alvin Kamara, you know what I'm saying? I owe it to you all as well, you know what I'm saying? Because you all listen to me to get my, perspective on certain situations. So I never be that way, you know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, then I admit it. You know what I'm saying? So, real talk.
That's what's up. They'll make it look biased. But one more thing I want to mention about, bro. Mm-hmm. One more thing. Old Marcus Williams, bro. Let me tell you, the other problem I have with him, he's too scared to make plays.
Yeah.
He's so starting, all right, you know P.J. Williams in the game.
Right.
You know they going that way as a safety. Like Aaron Reed on the break, they cheated. You know what I'm saying? They
right.
You know, I don't care what coach said. Coach call this, but I know they going over here. I don't care. If I mess up, oh well.
Right.
I just have to deal with it.
Right.
So he got to get that fear out and just start going and play football instead of just saying coach said cover 3. Hey, no, I'm gonna just run the cover 3 and just do my job. But as a safety, you gotta cheat. You gotta do things the coach don't want you to do, but you gotta show him. Look here, I'm out your coach. I gotta make this play, and he gotta work on his tackling. That's another thing. He gotta work on his tackling because
man,
he gotta work on the tackling. He gotta run through these tackles. Like he gotta learn from T.J. Gardner and learn how to tackle because his tackling ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? Not just because of that Kittle play, but it just plays. I see a lot of times he just can't really tackle.
I think that, man, when I look at him, I just see so much out of a young Malcolm Jenkins and what he used to be for the Saints. He reminds me so much of Malcolm Jenkins when his first time around for the Saints. And I feel like Malcolm Jenkins is going to be the guy that can kind of get through to him because I'm telling you, like, they're the same type of player. For the exception of Marcus Williams having better hands than Malcolm Jenkins. And the thing about it is he has like all of the tools to be a successful safety. I just think that Minneapolis Miracle still is in the back of his head.
Yeah, he plays scared.
Yeah, it's still in the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when the game is on the line, he thinks so much about I don't want to be the lowercase goat, you know what I'm saying, in a situation, instead of like, man, just going out there and playing free. So because I mean it's just yeah. I like him a lot, man. I'm not one of them people that just ready to give up on him because statistically, like he's one of the best safeties in the league. He just gives up that play at the end of games because I feel like it's almost like that basketball player that don't want to take the game winning shot. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. It's like you don't want to take that game winning shot. You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
That's all. But yeah, he gonna be good because he's still young. Now I understand when we had him, he was 20 years old. You know.
Yeah, he a kid, man. Yeah.
He was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up about 23. Like I said, once he get that fear out of him, he'll be all right. Cause he's scared right now. Not trying to mess up and stuff. So once he get that, he'll be all right. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, real tough. Man, I appreciate it though, man. Yeah, call back anytime, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
All right. Man, I mean, that's just the truth, man. I mean, I think that he has to play a little bit free. I think the Minneapolis Miracle is in the back of his mind like all the time, and maybe it gets the best of him. But I'm not ready to give up on Marcus Williams, man. I'm not ready to. I'm not. I just see so much in him, and I think that down the line, um, Sean Payton will be talking about Marcus Williams the way he talked about Malcolm Jenkins when he was like, we should have never let him go. That was one of the biggest mistakes um, that I made as a coach. I mean, that kid is good, man. He good. Still lead the league in passing yards. That's 515. You on the State of the Saints?
Hey man, it's Josh and Jesus.
Man, what's going on, Josh? How you doing, man?
Hey man, I wanted to ask your opinion on something, man. Who do you think the AFC representative is going to be in the Super Bowl?
The AFC.
I mean, we're always talking about whether the Saints are going to make it. The Patriots are definitely not going.
Ah man, Josh, if I can pick a AFC representative, I would have to say the Baltimore Ravens. I looked at an article a couple of days ago, and it was Lamar Jackson said that he felt like they underestimated the Tennessee Titans. In a lot of ways, I feel like they did. This was a 14-2 team that had home field advantage at M&T Bank. They were like running roughshod over the league. They went up against like a 49ers team. They won. Lamar Jackson seemed like he was playing unstoppable. And here comes this lowly Tennessee Titan team led by, in a lot of people's eyes, a failed quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. And they felt like, okay, we just stop Derrick Henry, we'll be fine. But, I mean, Ryan Tannehill had the game of his life, So I think that they learned their lesson. I think over the last 2 years with Lamar Jackson being a quarterback in the playoffs and him kind of shrinking in a moment, I think he's going to learn. The game is going to slow down for him. And I think that he's going to get better as a quarterback. So I would have to say the Baltimore Ravens would be the representative of the AFC in a Super Bowl. The reason I'm not going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs is because I just feel like they kind of caught lightning in a bottle. I think they're a good offensive team, but, I mean, I don't think that defense is going to be able to muster up the type of performance in the playoffs that you need in order to be successful. I mean, they just had a really good high-powered offense. I mean, you can really say that defense kind of could have easily cost them an opportunity at the Super Bowl. I mean, they had to battle back in a lot of those playoff games that they played.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl, just not this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Last year I don't want to say it was like a fluke, but it was there was definitely some luck involved with it because like Mahomes can only do so much, But like, yeah, I agree with you. I would say the Ravens or the Titans. The Titans are so much more complete than what people really think they are. So, they don't really have a whole lot of weak spots or nothing like that. I mean, as long as Tannehill holds up, they're definitely contenders. But
Well, let me say this, Josh, about the Tennessee Titans. Like, the reason why I didn't say them, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a difference between a team, that everybody sees coming, and a team that they didn't know they were coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like people are really going to have the undivided, the Tennessee Titans going to have everybody's undivided attention. And I'm just wondering, like, what kind of performance will Ryan Tannehill be able to put on? Like, he's not going to be able to, have those little pedestrian type games because teams are going to be trying to zero in on the running game and trying to shut down Derrick Henry. They don't consider like how most teams consider the quarterback as the head. They look at Derrick Henry as the head, and they feel like if we can stop him, the body is going to follow, meaning the passing game. So I just feel like it was kind of like one of those situations with the Jacksonville Jaguars when they went to the AFC Championship. Nobody really expected them to be as good as they were, and they kind of shocked a lot of people. And then the next year they kind of, fell back a little bit. I kind of look at the Tennessee Titans the same way. because I'm wondering how they're going to be able to respond having pressure on them and getting some of these teams' best games. I mean, you were one game away from the Super Bowl. Like, you're going to get the attention of every opponent that you face this season.
I didn't even think about that, man. I think I just changed my mind. I think you're right and I'm wrong.
No, I don't. I mean, you have some interesting points. I'm just looking at it from. I'm looking at it from a complete, like, when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, even though we said that they were falling behind the 8 ball in the playoffs, you can kind of see that they were coming. Okay, they learned from their mistakes when they played the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game when they couldn't get a stop. Okay, so what did they do? They went out there and got the Honey Badger. They went out there and they sealed up the secondary by getting Tyrann Mathieu out there, and they felt like that would solve their problem, and he did. He performed tremendously in the AFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. We can make an argument to say if it wasn't for the Honey Badger, probably wouldn't be in the Super Bowl. So they learned from those mistakes. I'm more concerned about people zeroing in on the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill having to take that extra step. Now, I understand, like, he did okay last season, but that's because nobody expected him to do anything at all. They didn't expect for him to do nothing. So I just feel like, how is he going to respond to that pressure? It didn't look good in Miami, so why would it look good in Tennessee? That's my only gripe about it.
No, I totally get it, man. I think I agree with most of what you're saying here. Now, I wanted to address C.J. Gardner since that's the point of this podcast. For the record, I do trust C.J. I do trust him. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, he's going to have like a second-year decline like everybody does. Mm-hmm. And I think if people are going to expect him to be Von Bell, but he's just not a Von Bell type of player. He's got a totally different style,
Yeah.
But he's going to be good. He's probably going to have a lot of screw-ups in like the first few games, but like by the time mid-season comes around, he'll have together. The dude's multi-talented, and he's very determined and very hard working. So he'll get it, and he'll be really friggin' awesome Pro Bowl level safety for us.
Right.
The one player I don't trust on the team, and I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, but it's got to be said, is Kamara.
Wow.
I don't really trust him to be, what he's been in the past.
That's an interesting take. Oh, why do you say that though? What makes you believe that he's not going to be what he was in the past?
His decline last year was so steep. Now I know he's going to come back at some point because he's a hard-working, determined man and all that. But I just don't think. I mean, there's something isn't there, man. He's not meant to be a feature back, and he's meant to be the sort of speed pass-catching back that backs up the feature back. But they're going to make him a feature back again, and it's not going to work out for him. He's going to be injured a lot. So, I mean, that's kind of why I'm saying this. What we need, really, is we need one of those big old 250-pound Derrick Henry types. Maybe not somebody who's as good as Derrick Henry, but that same type, that ground-and-pound type, right?
Right.
And then Kamara could be a compliment to him.
Right.
But we can't have Kamara as the feature back, and we're going to have him as the feature back. So I think it's going to be a repeat of last year with him.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a fair statement, but I do feel like, me personally, I feel like they have somebody in Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray, when he had opportunities, he really did a good job. Latavius Murray is a very underrated running back. From the time when he was in Oakland, even in Minnesota, it just seems like nobody really counts on him to be the guy. I don't know what it is. I don't know it's because, I mean, maybe quiet or, you know what I'm saying, he's not one of those rah-rah guys. I don't know. But anytime he gets the ball in his hand.
Right now?
I mean, he's like maybe 29, 30 years old. I think he's about to turn 30 if I'm not mistaken. But
he was like 33.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's that old. But I mean, like I said, I just think that he really takes advantage of his carries. But I just feel like Sean Payton just don't want to use him, which I don't understand. I just don't. I don't understand why he just don't use the guy.
I'm sorry. If Latavius can be the feature back and take the majority of the hits, then we will see Alvin Kamara return to his old form because he'll be the speed guy again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't. just like you said, I don't think Payton's even planning on doing that.
I don't think so either. Like, I think that once Mark Ingram left, they wanted Alvin Kamara to be the guy. And I think one thing that, and I went back yesterday when I was talking about Latavius Murray. One thing that Latavius Murray lacks is pass catching ability, catching the ball out of the backfield. That game against the Arizona Cardinals, that was his first time catching a pass for a touchdown in his entire career. And he's been in the league like 6 years. So I think that, Sean Payton likes those running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield and be able to run between the tackles. And I think that's one of the reasons why when the game started to get close, he really started to rely on Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray had to sit on the sidelines. Because if you look back when Mark Ingram, when he was having like pass catching woes before he became like a very important part of the screen game, it was someone else, that was in the game when the Saints had to throw the ball. You seen Tavares Cadet a lot more, you seen like some of these other guys. So I think that if Latavius Murray gets better as a pass catcher, which probably won't happen, that's the reason why I feel like Ty Montgomery is probably going to be that guy. But if he can step it up as a pass catcher, I think that you'll probably see him more because I think he'll earn the confidence of Sean Payton. So that may be the one thing that I feel like is his biggest setback and that's holding him back from Sean Payton really unleashing him. So I think if he gets that pass catching under control, he'll be okay.
Hey man, I just have one more question for you, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Now that we have Sanders and we still have Michael Thomas, how much do you think Traquan will fit into this? Do you think Traquan will finally have a pretty decent season just because there's going to be so much focus on Sanders and Thomas?
I think this is maybe a hot take, but I think this might be the best season Traquan Smith ever had as a Saint. Because I honestly feel like Traquan Smith can't handle the pressure. Like, he is not a number 2 receiver. He's not a number 1 receiver. He's a role player. He's okay with, like I keep using basketball examples, but he's okay with shooting a 3 every now and then, being the Mike Miller, being the Ray Allen later in his career. Like, he's okay with that. I don't think he likes to be featured, and I don't think he can really rise to the occasion, when the expectations are high. I think with Emmanuel Sanders coming in, being that number 2, being the undisputed number 2, I feel like Traquan Smith can kind of fit in. He can maybe be, like, I don't know, that slot receiver or something like that, being the inside, and maybe be able to, do something right, in that position. But I think it might be the best thing to happen to him now that the pressure is off of him, because now it's not going to be like, man, where's Traquan Smith? Why he don't step up? Because Emmanuel Sanders is here. So I feel like now he can, be that number 3, even at number 4. So I think that he'll do better now that the pressure is off of him. But don't be surprised if Deontay Harris becomes that number 3 receiver and Traquan Smith falls to about the 4th or the 5th.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think expectations were maybe too high for Traquan because he's the one who caught Drew Brees' touchdown-breaking, touchdown record-breaking, you know what I mean? And that was a pretty beautiful catch around, so people thought, man, Traquan was going to be a star, but that's not going to happen. Right. Hey, one more thing. Will you ever have the fart guy on your show, the guy that makes all the fart super
If he calls in, I'll be ripping him. If he calls in, then I'll definitely have him on the show. But,
Gardner Johnson.
Yeah. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, man, but he always has, like, these legendary, like, flatulent examples, which I mean, I don't understand how he does it. But if he wants to call in, man, I'll be ripping him. You can call in anytime, man. Just don't fart on the show.
All right, hey, well, I'll let you take your next call, brother.
All right, thank you, Josh, man. Take it easy.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Man, Josh and Jesus, man. Shouts out to him. Great points. Yeah, man, but Traquan Smith, I feel like now that the pressure is off of him, I think he's going to excel. I do. I think he's going to excel as a 3 or a 4. So, and I think that it'll make things easier for us in the Who Dat Nation, too. I think that we were so hard on Traquan because we wanted him to step up and be that number 2, and we expected him to, but he's not. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Strong arm, has weapons, can lead and facilitate. No O-line. Let's see. Ben Roethlisberger. Okay. Ben Roethlisberger always had an offensive line. If Ben Roethlisberger didn't have an offensive line, then how did Rashad Mendenhall, you know what I'm saying, like all these other running backs they had, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, how are these guys becoming successful? What's wrong with Big Ben, and it's been his issue throughout his whole entire career, is he holds on to the ball way too long. Way too long. That's why the Pittsburgh Steelers, they be playing park ball out there, man. I've never seen wide receivers break off their routes so much in my entire life. They always had a good offensive line. I mean, but how long do you expect for your offensive line to block for you? You got to make a read and throw the ball. Exactly. Good things happen when Murray gets the ball. Yup. More of the truth. Nobody ran that screen game like Pierre. Absolutely. The greatest screen runner in NFL history, in my opinion. Like, Pierre Thomas, he get the ball, something magical going to happen in the screen game. So, Traquan is a Mike Miller role player, but not a big shot Bob role player. Exactly. Okay, yeah, he more like Mike Miller. Like I said, old towards the end of his career, Ray Allen. I'm trying to think about somebody else out there, you know what I'm saying? Steve Kerr, you know what I'm saying? Like Judd Bushler, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like that, he not one of those, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, big shot, big clutch type players, you know what I'm saying? Like he just he's just a cog on the wheel, so to speak. I hate to say it like that. He's in the NFL, but he's not that guy. I'll tell you what. I sure don't miss Drew Brees making my defense look sorry. I may as well have rubbed my hole with coconut butter during all those games, because Drew ran up in me like I was his out. Riverboat Ryan. Oh, man. Shouts out to Riverboat Ryan, man. Good luck in Washington. Okay, good luck with that. Don't forget Willie Parker. That's the person, Raw Dog, that's who I will forget. And I was like, what's the other guy? Willie Parker, absolutely. Willie Parker. I think he was the running back during their Super Bowl run. What up, CJ? I think we need big cornerbacks. No, I think we need healthy cornerbacks. I think we need healthy cornerbacks. I think that will help us out a whole lot. But before we get up out of here, man, we got to talk about this. I'm sorry, folks, but it is a part of the Saints news, and it has a lot to do with the New Orleans Saints and also the Catholic Church. Now, this in no way am I trying to offend anybody in the Catholic community, anybody that believes in Catholicism. I'm just telling you what it is. According to sources, the New Orleans Saints have been aiding and abetting the Catholic Church, the archbishops of Louisiana, longer than they said in the report. Now, we all know that the New Orleans Saints organization has given money to the archbishops, and we all know about the child abuse scandals that's going on, the sexual abuse scandals. So, look, no disrespect to anybody, man, but if the Saints are doing this, then they should be punished. Straight up, man. I'm sorry. I love the Saints. I love the team. I got much respect for the Saints organization. Y'all know I bleed black and gold, but if they have something to do with this, they need to be punished, man, because what these bishops were doing to these young kids are absolutely pathetic, absolutely sad, ridiculous, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, and something has to be done, man. You can't sit up here and be doing these type of things and don't expect nothing to happen to you. You cannot be sitting up here trying to cover up a sex scandal, all in the name of the fact that you are a Catholic, a devout Catholic. Okay, but man, you can't be doing these type of things, man. you can't be putting your money towards something like this. So if the Saints, they investigate and it turns out that the Saints have been aiding and abetting the way that they said, right now I'm going to say alleged. If they're doing that, then they need to be punished, folks. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't be doing stuff like this, man. These young kids, I mean, some of these cases date back, man. Some of these kids are grown now. You know what I'm saying? Like and they have to live with this stuff for the rest of their lives. That is tough, man. And some things can't always be about football. We cannot just think about things selfishly. Like selfishly, we hope that this gets swept under the rug and nothing really happens to the team and nothing, no draft picks or no money get taken selfishly. But when we think about it morally, you know what I'm saying? Something has to happen. That's sick. That's absolutely sick. You proud that you took my manhood all them times. Riverboat Ryan, thank you for the $2, man. Look, I mean, you were a really good coach for the Carolina Panthers, and you won your fair share of games, man. So I'm not gonna say that the Saints just absolutely dominated you, but man, it is what it is, man. Shouts out to Riverboat Ryan. Like I said, good luck in Washington. I think you're gonna turn that organization around. All I have to do is Bill Snyder to get out of the way, let him sit up in a press box somewhere or in his luxury suite and just let you do your job. And I think y'all be okay. Love you, TJ Jones, the host. Man, love you too, Jerry. We need corners that can cover and tackle. Yeah, we do. Yes, you need healthy corners, but the reason why we need big corners to cover big receivers like Mike Evans, I think they do a good job covering those guys with the guys they have. I do. Yeah, man, but I'd like to know what y'all think about this whole Catholic Church thing. What do you think about it? Do you think the Saints need to suffer some type of punishment because of this? Like I said, man, they're saying that they've been helping much longer than they said that they did. And honestly, what was Gail Benson thinking? Like, honestly, what was she thinking? Why would you take the Saints payroll and give it to the Catholic Church after you know all this stuff was going on? Do you not believe that they were going to? I don't know, man. Do you only think they were going to leave a paper trail? That is wow. I cannot believe that. But, man, I feel so bad for them kids, man. I feel so bad for these men that had to go through that. And, like I said, I think the Saints need to, some type of penalty need to happen if they're out here and because it leaves a very bad message. It seems like the Saints were condoning this situation. Like Gail Benson was condoning what was going on. It's not a good look. What you think about Tommy Stevens? I don't know what to think about him, Deal. I haven't seen that much of him. I know he has a good upside. And I think that he has a good arm, but I don't think that the Saints, going to play him or anything like that this season. I think he's probably going to be on the practice squad, and they're probably going to use him quite a bit. He's going to be doing a lot of scout team, you know what I'm saying, because of his ability to run and throw the football. So I think he's going to make the team, and I think the Saints got him for that fact. They can't be Riverboat Ryan talking like that. Definitely not Riverboat. He called himself Riverboat Ryan, but I doubted Ron Rivera would be looking at the State of the Saints podcast. I doubt that very highly. Especially like since, he was a Carolina Panthers coach. I mean, I don't think he'll want to hear what a Saints fan has to say. I really believe that. But thank you all very much for tuning in to the State of the Saints podcast. I had a very fun time. Shouts out to everybody that called in. And I would love to hear from you, man. You can always inbox me on Facebook, facebook.com. Search State of the Saints podcast. Also, stateofthesaints@gmail.com. You can email me if you have any questions or you have an idea for a topic that you would like for me to discuss. Please do so. Hit me up, inbox, and email me. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, those that have not. YouTube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Follow on Facebook, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints Podcast, Instagram, TJAY Jones _. And also, as you can see on Twitter, State of Saints. You can follow me on Twitter as well. Thank you all so much. Hope you have a great and productive night, morning, or evening, or wherever you're watching this show. Thank you so much for the love and the support. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?